Ashley here for another episode, and let's talk about the chakras. So one thing I want to do is I have particular videos on specific chakras, and what I would like to do is continue on with that series. So we've never done a video on the solar plexus, and I wanted to really dive into the solar plexus because honestly, this has been, I'm a through and through solar plexus girl. I've done so much solar plexus healing, and I wanted to share with you some tips on reclaiming your personal power. So let's dive in. Hey guys, so it is Ashley from theawakenstate.net, and we're going to continue on with our chakra talk. So if you don't know, I have a list of chakra videos, and I have covered all sorts of topics, from really looking at grounding with the root chakra, to looking into your intuition with the third eye, to overactive having spiritual burnout with the third eye. I've talked a lot about how to open your heart chakra, and I've also talked a lot about expanding with your beliefs and into possibilities with the crown chakra. And so I wanted to continue on with this series because I think it's been kind of fun to personally just go over different chakras, how they function, and just kind of give you more of an in-depth analysis, essentially. And I'd like to also say that I do have the Ultimate Chakra Guidebook. If you are curious on all of the chakras and you're curious on those videos, I have them all housed in one giant Master Post article that you can find on the website. I will leave a link down below. So let's talk about the solar plexus. So if you are not familiar with the chakra system, chakras are energy centers in our body, and we have this is the diagram of the chakras. I love how I have visual references of like everything. So I'm a very visual person. You will know that. So this one is the solar plexus chakra. So we have the root, the sacral, the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the third eye, and then we have the crown on top. And so the solar plexus chakra is what we're talking on today. So the solar plexus chakra is all about our personal power. So this one is a hard one to really heal because it really can illustrate to us if we're in our ego or our co-creative mindset. And so what do I mean by that? Well, the solar plexus tells us so much about our victim mindset, our shadow self, and our higher self, our more soul aligned, our co-creator, the person within us that just goes and propels into action. Whereas the solar plexus on the shadow side is more about our ego mentality. It is literally the space where we create our identity. So the solar plexus defines who we are as a person. The solar plexus has a lot to do with our self-esteem, our sense of worth and value. It has to do with our career, our purpose. Most importantly, it focuses a lot on our personal sense of happiness and fulfillment. And as a result, the solar plexus can tell you so much about how you take action and who you are as a person due to your identity. So for example, someone who's like really egotistical probably has an overactive solar plexus. And so someone who's really timid and shy and like this is probably more a closed solar plexus or an imbalanced solar plexus that's underactive, where they need to rev up their personal power. So you can start to see that there's a difference here, and we can also realize that there's a balance because we also have the shadow aspect of who we are, and then we have the light aspect of who we are. So one thing that's really important to understand with the solar plexus is it kind of holds a lot of our ego mentalities. And so it holds a lot of conditioning around our identity as a person. And this can also play into our sense of self-worth and personal power. And our sense of personal power is often dominated around a sense of feeling control over our lives or where we feel powerless over our lives. So one simple way to really tune into the solar plexus is asking yourself if you feel powerless over circumstance, over your life, or if you're feeling more in power, like in the sense of accountability of your life. And you'll start to notice that there's a huge difference here in between these two ways of thinking. And so this is coming back to, I don't want to use the word victim, but this is the easiest way to understand it. It is feeling from the energy of being the victim in your life to being the co-creator in your life. And so the words I really like to use is, instead of thinking of it as a victim mentality, it's a projecting mentality, where they're projecting their wounds onto the relationships, or they're projecting their shit into their life. And as a result, the projector mentality will be more focused outward, more as like reactive emotionally. And the co-creator mentality, the light consciousness, will be more so from a space of they're creating. So instead of projecting out, they're working from within. And from working from within, they're co-creating outward. So the hugest difference here with the solar plexus is really looking at, in terms of personal power, you have to look at, do you feel a sense of powerlessness from this limited mindset where life is happening to me? Or are you in the mentality of life is happening through me? Because these two different mindsets are what is ruling the solar plexus. So a lot of healing work from the solar plexus area is rooted around removing that victim mindset and stepping into a place of personal power. So I can give you a really good illustration here of how to understand this. So when you think about taking action is really related a lot to the solar plexus, because it tells you a lot about how you show up, how you're being accountable, what's your self-esteem, and are you taking the action you need to take? So as a result, the solar plexus holds a lot of understanding around aligned action versus forceful, fearful action, or no action. And this is a concept I've talked on before. And the solar plexus really holds the glue here of how you understand it. Is you can start to see that if you have an overactive solar plexus, you may be in a space of forceful action. You're trying to control everything. You're trying to control the outcome. And as a result, you're kind of forcing the manifestation, or forcing, the outcome of what you want, or you're trying to push the manifestation forward. And as a result, what happens is we have a very overactive solar plexus, which generates too much energy and comes from a place of physical effort. And then we have the person who's in a freeze mode, where they're not taking action. This is the person that's timid and shy and probably doesn't want to own their power. So they're stopping themselves from taking the action they need to take. And so this person could be in self-sabotage. This person could be in a bunch of excuses. This person could also be really kind of in this energy of like, I have a million little excuses as to why I can't do it, and I'm not going to take the action. And as a result, what happens with this kind of mentality is they're in an underactive solar plexus. They're saying to themselves, there is no way in hell I'm doing that. My ego wants to stay safe in its little box. No way. That mentality is what puts you out of personal power. Because what it happens is you don't believe you are capable, you don't believe you're worthy, you don't believe you're deserving. And even if it's not even coming from a place of feeling powerless, it's unconsciously coming from a place of either shame or lack, or really at lack of confidence. And from that space of lack of confidence, low self-esteem, low self-worth, we don't take the actions we need to take that helps us either accelerate our goals, accelerate our manifestation, go after what we want, have the career we want, etc. And as a result, that is really what happens in the solar plexus, is you can start to see it's the way that you take action. So one of the hugest things that you can do, and this is tip 1, is I want you to think about, with the solar plexus, am I in a fear-led hustle where I'm forcefully kind of pushing the action forward, or am I in an energy where I'm tuned into my intuition, I feel like life is flowing through me, and I'm taking the actions I need to take? That's the number one indicator of if you need solar plexus work. If you answered A, then that's where we need to get started. So your next tip is to look at, in terms of understanding the solar plexus, it's about reclaiming your personal power, right? So how do we do that? Well, like I said, in order to know how to be in personal power, you have to look at what is taking you out of personal power. Seems a little bit backwards, but actually it's not, because once you're aware of what's taking you out of your power, now you can start to change it and allow yourself to be in a space where you are turning the dials on your personal power. So how can we do this? Well, I want you to consider that the person who is unwilling to take the action is training their nervous system to not believe them. And as a result, because they don't do the actions they say they're going to do, it's reinforcing the belief that they can't do it. So the number one thing, if you want to work on the solar plexus, is to take the action you need to take, because this helps develop your confidence in your self-esteem and your personal power. Instead of saying you'll do the thing, you need to do the thing and actually do it, instead of, I'll get to it when I get to it, or maybe I'll do it. And I totally get it. Been there, done that. And this mentality of looking at, well, do you do the actions that you actually say you're going to do? Do you have self-accountability with yourself? Because the solar plexus is always built around making aligned actions built from the energy of doing what you say you're going to do. And while that seems so simple, it's really way more common than you think, that a lot of people just talk out their ass and don't actually do anything. And from this energy standpoint, you're telling your nervous system to not believe you. You're telling your nervous system that this actually isn't possible, because I'd rather stay safe. So tip number 2 is to really look at, do you do the actions you say you're going to do? And to look at, well, what is taking you out of your personal power? What makes you feel that low self-worth? What makes you feel like you're powerless over your circumstance? What makes you feel that you have low confidence? Or what makes you feel that you have these things coming up? What is being triggered in you from these associations? And when you can start to see that the solar plexus is literally just a very important tool to understand how to own your personal power, you can also see that the solar plexus holds a lot of understanding around not only how we take action and our purpose, but also our sense of fulfillment. So our sense of personal fulfillment. So your third tip is to look at, do you have a sense of fulfillment in your life? Because that will show you a lot if there's solar plexus work to do. Because when we don't have that sense of emotional fulfillment or passion or zest for life, a lot of that is stemming from a solar plexus wound, either due to our identity or our, some kind of past wounding we've experienced, or due to a low sense of worth or self-esteem or confidence. And as a result, it can show us a lot about how we see our sense of self-worth. So the one thing you can do to work on reclaiming your personal power is to start to bring attention to this and to ask yourself, what does bring me a sense of fulfillment? What does make my soul happy and joyful? What does bring me into the energy of where I'm pulled into the action I want to take? What helps cultivate that within me? And to really get clear on asking yourself, in terms of the solar plexus, do I feel that I am in an overactive energy where I feel forceful, pushy, pushing and pulling? Do I feel like I'm in the energy of controlling the outcome? Do I feel like I'm in an energy of like forcing, kind of, forcing it to happen? I kind of want to push it. I'm chasing it. I'm hustling. Am I in that energy of overactive solar plexus? Or am I more in the energy of, I'll get to it when I can? Maybe, I don't know. I don't think I can do it. I don't know. Or are you in the space of underactive solar plexus, where you aren't taking the action? You're afraid to take the action. You're in a space of a low self-worth, because this will show you so much immediately on where there's work to do in terms of the solar plexus. So in summary, basically what I really want to say here is, in terms of understanding the solar plexus, it's really important to look at the way you take action. It's important to look at your self-worth, and it's really important to look at your sense of fulfillment and your sense of, do you emotionally feel fulfilled? Because the solar plexus will help guide us into the action we need to take when we have this sense of emotional fulfillment in our lives. And as a result, when we have profound solar plexus healing, we are more in alignment with our sense of purpose, our sense of identity, and our sense of being the co-creator who feels in accountability with their life. Okay, so if you guys have any more questions about the solar plexus, please drop them down below. If you are interested in learning more about the chakras, I highly recommend that you spend some time in the Chakra Detox Masterclass, which has just been released. So you can sign up for that below. I'll drop a link down below for you. And if you are interested in more of a deep dive on the chakras, the Ultimate Chakra Academy will be coming out soon. It is one of my top selling courses all about the chakras, where you receive a deep energetic dive into the chakra system, how to understand it, how to connect it to mindset, habits, emotional healing, manifestation, and all the things. If you are interested in joining, or if you are interested in learning more information, please reach out to me personally or drop a comment down below. As always, subscribe if you enjoy our videos, and I'll see you guys next time.